In the bustling heart of New York City, where skyscrapers pierced the sky like ambitious dreams, a sleek black limousine pulled up outside the grand entrance of the Waldorf Astoria. Out stepped Alexander Hargrove, a self-made millionaire whose fortune in tech startups had made him a legend in boardrooms but a stranger in his own life. At 52, with silver streaks in his perfectly coiffed hair and a tailored suit that screamed success, Alex was the epitome of the American dream, except for the hollow ache he carried like an invisible scar. He was rushing to a gala, his mind on mergers and acquisitions, when a young woman, no more than 20, stepped out from the shadows of the awning. Her clothes were threadbare, her eyes wide with a mix of desperation and determination. "Sir," she said, her voice trembling but steady, "please pretend you're my dad." Alex paused, then burst into laughter, the kind that echoed off the marble steps. "Kid, you've got the wrong guy. I'm not in the market for family drama tonight." But then she pulled out a faded photograph from her pocket, and everything changed. That moment would unravel a story of lost connections, hidden regrets, and the unbreakable pull of blood. If you're hooked already, hit that like button and subscribe for more heart-stirring tales that remind us we're all just one revelation away from rewriting our lives. Now, let's dive in. Alex Hargrove hadn't always been the titan of industry. Born in a dusty Midwestern town, he grew up in a cramped trailer with a single mother who worked double shifts at a diner to keep food on the table. His father? A ghost, vanished before Alex could even form memories of him. That absence fueled Alex's fire. He vowed never to be poor, never to depend on anyone. By 25, he'd dropped out of college, coded his first app in a dingy basement, and sold it for a fortune. Success snowballed, companies acquired, stocks soaring, yachts and private jets. But along the way, he'd left pieces of himself behind. A failed marriage to his college sweetheart, Elena, who couldn't compete with his ambition. They had a daughter, Mia, but when the divorce hit, Alex buried himself in work, sending checks instead of showing up. Mia was just a toddler then. He told himself she'd be better off without his chaos. Years blurred into board meetings, and eventually, the checks stopped bouncing back unopened. He assumed Elena had moved on, built a new life. Alex convinced himself he had too. The young woman standing before him now was a stranger, yet something in her eyes, those piercing green eyes, stirred a dormant unease. Her name was Lily, she said, clutching the photo like a lifeline. "Just for 5 minutes," she pleaded. "There's a social worker inside, and if I don't have a parent figure, they'll send me back to the system." Alex's laughter faded into a skeptical chuckle. "Why me? There are 100 people walking by." She glanced down, her sneakers scuffing the pavement. "Because you look like you could pull it off. Successful, put together. And, because of this." She thrust the photo forward. It was an old Polaroid, edges curled from time. In it, a young man in his 20s beamed at the camera, arm around a woman with flowing dark hair, a tiny baby cradled between them. Alex's heart skipped. That was him, younger, hopeful, before the world hardened him. Elena beside him, and baby Mia in her arms. "Where did you get this?" he demanded, his voice a whisper now, the gala forgotten. Lily's story spilled out in hurried breaths. She wasn't asking for money or fame, she was an orphan, or so she'd thought. Raised in foster homes after her mother died in a car accident when Lily was 10, she'd bounced from family to family, each one more indifferent than the last. School was her escape, straight A's, dreams of college, but the system demanded stability. Today was her emancipation hearing. She needed an adult to vouch for her, pretend to be family, just to get the judge's approval for independent living. "I found this photo in my mom's old things," Lily explained. "She never talked about my dad. Said he was gone for good. But look at the back." Alex flipped it over. Scrawled in Elena's handwriting, "Alex, our Mia. Come back someday." Mia's middle name had been Lily. The realization hit Alex like a freight train. Could this be? No, impossible. He'd lost track of them years ago. Elena had remarried, or so he'd heard through mutual friends. But the eyes, the dimple on her chin, it was like staring at a ghost of his past self, mixed with Elena's grace. This can't be real, he muttered, but his hands shook as he handed it back. Lily's face crumpled. Please. I don't need anything else. Just pretend for the hearing. Then you can go back to your life. Against every instinct that screamed, walk away, Alex found himself nodding. Maybe it was curiosity, or guilt from decades of avoidance. They entered the hotel together, her arm linked awkwardly in his, like a mismatched father-daughter duo. The social worker, a stern woman named Ms. Rivera, eyed them suspiciously in the conference room set up for the hearing. And you are, she asked Alex. He straightened, channeling his boardroom confidence. Her father. Alexander Hargrove. The lie felt heavy, but as Lily squeezed his hand under the table, something cracked inside him, a wall he'd built brick by brick. The hearing was a blur of questions: Lily's grades, her part-time job at a coffee shop, her plans for community college. Alex improvised, praising her resilience, fabricating stories of weekend visits. Ms. Rivera probed deeper. Why haven't you been involved before now? Alex hesitated, then met Lily's eyes. I made mistakes. Big ones. But I'm here now. It wasn't entirely a lie. By the end, the judge granted emancipation, and Lily hugged Alex fiercely outside the room. Thank you, she whispered. You have no idea what this means. But Alex couldn't let it go. That photo haunted him. That night, in his penthouse overlooking Central Park, he dug through old boxes he'd never unpacked. Divorce papers, faded letters from Elena begging him to visit Mia. He'd ignored them all. A quick call to a private investigator, perks of wealth, and within hours, confirmation: Elena had died 10 years ago, never remarried. Mia Hargrove, now Lily, she'd changed her name to distance herself from the absent father, had indeed entered foster care. The accident report was gut-wrenching: Elena swerving to avoid a drunk driver, the car flipping. Lily survived with bruises, her mother didn't. Guilt crashed over Alex like a tidal wave. He'd abandoned them. Sent money sporadically, but never love. Never time. The next day, he tracked Lily down at her dingy apartment in Brooklyn, a shared space with peeling wallpaper and noisy neighbors. She opened the door warily. What do you want? You did your part. He held up the photo. This is me. And your mother. And you, as a baby. I'm not pretending, Lily. I am your dad. The revelation shattered her. Tears streamed as she backed away. No. My dad left us. Mom said he didn't care. Alex's voice broke. She was right. I was selfish, scared. I thought success would fill the void, but it didn't. I lost track, told myself you were better off. But I was wrong. They talked for hours, her recounting foster home horrors, the bullying for being the orphan kid, the nights she cried herself to sleep wondering why her father didn't want her. Him sharing his own fatherless childhood, the fear of repeating the cycle. Challenges mounted, Lily's anger boiled over. You think showing up now fixes everything? I survived without you. Alex didn't defend himself, he listened, apologized, offered proof, DNA test if she wanted. Resolution came slowly, like dawn after a storm. Alex didn't push with money, instead, he showed up. Coffee runs turned into dinners, stories of Elena shared over photo albums he'd unearthed. Lily's walls crumbled when he funded her college tuition, not as a bribe, but as amends. I can't buy back time, he said, but I can be here now. Key challenges arose, trust issues flared when old habits died hard, Alex canceling a visit for a meeting, Lily retreating into silence. But they faced them head-on. Therapy sessions, honest talks. One night, during a heated argument, Lily yelled, "Why now?" Alex pulled her into a hug. "Because that photo reminded me of what I lost. And what I can still gain." Months passed. Lily thrived in college, studying social work to help kids like her. Alex scaled back his empire, delegating to spend weekends with her, teaching her to code, sharing Elena's recipes. Their bond deepened, relatable in its messiness, a father learning to parent an adult daughter, a daughter forgiving without forgetting. Friends marveled at Alex's change, from workaholic to family man. Lily's resilience inspired him, his vulnerability healed her. One crisp autumn day, they visited Elena's grave. Lily placed flowers, Alex whispered apologies. "She'd be proud of you," he said. Lily smiled through tears. "Of us." The story's pace had built from that initial hook of laughter to revelation, conflict, and redemption, mirroring life's unpredictable rhythm. In the end, this tale isn't just about a millionaire and a lost daughter, it's a reminder that family isn't defined by perfection, but by showing up, even late. Second chances exist if we're brave enough to seize them. Regrets can become bridges to better tomorrows. If this story touched your heart, remember, life's twists can lead to beautiful reunions. Smash that like button if it moved you, and subscribe for more inspiring stories that prove it's never too late to rewrite your ending. Who knows? Your own photo moment might be waiting.